everyone, welcome to Garden Supply Company. My name is Azul and this is Plant School with Azul. Today we're going to be working with bonsais and raw materials. We're going to take this little baby juniper and put it into this pot with all materials that you can find here at the store. Let's get started. To be able to do all of my things that I need to do today, I'm going to be wearing gloves so that my fingers don't get poked by these little sharp needles. I'm going to use pruners, different kinds of cuts for different things that I'll need for the root pruning. I will also be using Hoffman Bonsai soil mix. This is all the stuff you can find at Garden Supply, and if you don't feel brave enough to pot up your own bonsai, don't worry, we do have already set up bonsais here that you can purchase the remaining supplies to be able to do your pruning, to do your feeding, all that good stuff, but we'll get into that later. First things, we're gonna take this little juniper out. We can massage her. I'm gonna shake her out a little bit, gently pull her, eat, and then we're just gonna look and see what these roots are like. Right? I'm going to take a little look. I'm going to clean her out. Give a little shake. Alright, so we have all these amazing little roots. And to start this bonsai, we're just going to clean up some of these really long ones right here. I'm going to keep all of these as the main parts because bonsais, you want more shallow roots. So I'm just going to clean her up a little bit. And I have these very clean pruners that I just cleaned inside. And I'm just going to boop, boop, boop. But I'm going to leave this really big root intact. I'm going to leave these big ones intact. And we'll go from there. So here's how it goes. Today, we're working with juniper as our raw material for this bonsai. It is one of the most common that you can find in any big box store and also here at Garden Supply. Juniper is a hardy evergreen plant and should be grown outdoors only. It loves the sun, can handle some shade, and wants to be watered when the soil goes slightly dry. After the type of root pruning and top pruning we will do today, it could benefit from some misting. Different types of bonsais require different kinds of care. I personally use the site Bonsai Empire as a resource when I'm stumped. Pun intended. And of course, you can always come and see us here at the store. We'd love to have you. Okay, here's the next step. We're going to be putting our soil. Now, the key to having a successful bonsai is all about the soil. Like most of the intention behind care for bonsais, finding the right balance is key. Organic material, such as regular potting soil, isn't going to cut it for a bonsai. They need the right mixture of inorganic material, such as lava rocks, pumice, or fine gravel to be successful. The balancing act is between three objectives. Number one is aeration, which is necessary for oxygen to get in and for good bacteria to form and support root growth. Speaking of good bacteria, we always use some biotone to welcome a plant into a new home. Think of it as a housewarming present. This helps the plant establish a strong root system and introduces the best kind of microbes into the environment. It is the best starter fertilizer, and of course, we always carry it. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to get nice and low so you guys can see my face. I read online that the best bonsai creatives, they get at eye level with their plant and they just kind of like look at it and they turn it around, and if I had some kind of like spinning dolly, I would spin it around, but I don't. So you just have to do it the way that it speaks to you the most. Like, does it speak to you to put it right down in the middle? Does it want to be to the side? Does it want to be over here in this corner? Like, what is it saying to you? Back to the balancing act. Number 2 is water retention. The soil you use needs to be able to hold some water for the bonsai to feed their roots between waterings. They should never be allowed to go completely dry, but too much water will cause root rot. Which brings us to number 3, proper drainage. Water needs to be able to flow right through the soil, which is why the inorganic materials in this soil won't clog like the organic materials in regular potting soil. She has bonsai soil mix, she has a little bit of biotone, and once her growth period starts, we recommend using this Bonsai Pro liquid fertilizer in their growth period, which starts in March to September. It's good to do a little bit every 2 weeks to every 3 weeks. Again, let the bonsai speak to you. Here we are with Betty the bonsai. We're going to give her a little bit of a haircut. Now, one of the funny things that I saw on the internet was how they were saying a juniper can easily look like a broccoli. And so we want to take her from broccoli to beauty realness very quickly. And to do that, we need to remove some of the obstructions from the view of what she's doing. So we're going to start from the bottom, and we're going to get rid of these little guys that are going to kind of mess up our view of Betty the bonsai. Same with these guys down here. Now, if I was at home, I would be listening to some music, maybe some Celine Dion, maybe some Ella Fitzgerald. No. Just getting my full fantasy of pruning. This is taking me back to my cutting my Barbie's hair, but this will grow back. I'm so sorry, but I don't like this little branch. Big snap coming in. There are 2 different pruning techniques. Maintenance pruning, which is to maintain and refine the existing shape of a bonsai, and structural pruning, which involves more rigorous pruning to give a tree its basic shape or style. Maintenance can be done for outdoor plants between February through November, and indoor plants can handle pruning all year long. Structural pruning can and should be done in early spring and late autumn, basically right before and right after the growing season. You can shape your bonsai however you want, as long as you stick to some basics that won't damage your plant. A couple to think about removing are any suckers growing from the base of the trunk and higher up acting as water sprouts, dead branches, and branches that compete with the trunk line. We want composition in our bonsai, for it to have balance, contrast, and highlights. Truly, the only limits are your imagination and keeping the plant alive. Bonsai time is you time, and gives you a chance to send yourself to the care of another organism. Take your time and enjoy it. Remember how I said there are different kinds of bonsais and they require different care? The biggest difference is if it is deciduous or evergreen. Like this juniper, there are other evergreens that won't lose their leaves. If you have a deciduous bonsai and want specific deciduous tree care, like and comment below. I'm here for you. And now, presenting Betty Bonsai, Queen of the Blue Pot. What we've done today are some structural changes. There's 2 different kinds of pruning. There's maintenance, and then there's structural. Removing this amount is structural pruning. We're constructing the shape that we want to see in the bonsai. And maintenance is mostly just keeping the shape that you want. Now this is without wiring, which will be done in the spring, but voila.